Hey guys, it's Celeste with Lazy JX Ranch. So the other day I was talking about homeschooling, and so I did want to show you what we're using this year, what we have been using, and it's working really well. In the past, everybody was doing different subjects from different companies, but this year we needed to find something for my 10th grader. She's in 10th grade this year. We needed to find something for my 10th grader that had an actual teacher teaching it. And so we were kind of looking into, there's resources where you have an actual teacher and you just zoom into a class. That was the direction we were heading for her for this year, but the problem is she has a job where she babysits 1 or 2 days a week, and it's usually in the morning so that the mom can work. And so we didn't want to give up that. Plus, one of the biggest things for our family with the homeschooling is the fact that the flexibility. So like if we want to go travel or whatever, we can do that. So it was a really tough decision, because she really wanted an actual teacher that taught, especially for math. So anyways, we had actually signed up for Connections Academy, but then ended up just not doing it for that reason. So at the last minute, I did find, so this was like the middle of July, I want to say, of last summer. I just happened across BJU Press. I think mostly because you can buy some of their products through christianbooks.com, which is one of the resources that I was using pretty heavily for curriculum and resources. And so I think that was a big reason why we ended up running across BJU Press. So BJU stands for Bob Jones University. It's actually a private school that's been around a long time, over 100 years, I want to say, in North Carolina or South Carolina, one of those. And it's a Protestant Christian private school. And basically, they've been making their curriculum available for homeschoolers for, I want to say, 20 or 30 years. So really, really great company to work with. So with the BJU Press, it is Protestant, it is Christian, it's very heavily Christian, which means in your math class, they're going to bring up God, they're going to bring up the scriptures, they're going to bring up sin. I'm okay with that. I'm not Protestant, but I belong to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, otherwise known as the Mormons, but we really don't like to be called that because we don't worship Mormon, we worship Christ, and we don't worship Joseph Smith, we worship Christ. But anyways, there's a few things that don't correlate with our beliefs, but it's not like anything huge. They're small things, really. And really, it just opens it up for us to have a conversation, me and my kids. Nothing that was like totally uncomfortable. There's a few places where it talks about, my daughter's doing the American Republic. So it talks about the settling the West. And, of course, you can't talk about that without including the Mormon pioneers. And there was some places there where they were like, oh, Joseph Smith made it all up and da 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 da. And it's like he had a 3rd grade education. He was like 14 years old when it all started, and had like a 3rd grade reading and writing level. And he wrote the Book of Mormon in a year. Laughable. But anyway, so that was the only part. And, it's been what? Well, since July. That was the only part that it was kind of uncomfortable. But like I said, we just used it as an opportunity to have a dialogue. So anyway, so I have a 10th grader, a 9th grader, and a 1st grader. And I just kind of wanted to show you real quickly my morning routine, like what is required as far as the parent side of BJU Press, in case this is something that you are interested in. So, and also how I have it organized and all that stuff. So anyways, I'm going to flip the camera around so that you can see how I have it all set up. And I will also share with you, because, well, first of all, we fully intend on using BJU Press for the bulk of our curriculum next year as well. We've just really enjoyed it. It's worked out really well. And so I do want to talk about how I have some things set up that I absolutely hate, how I have it set up, and what I'm going to do different next year. I just feel like it's way too late in the year to pull that together. And it's just been one thing that I struggled with this curriculum. So we'll get into that. It's the handouts. There's tons and tons and tons of handouts for each one of the kids, and I'm totally cool with that. The thing that you have to remember with BJU Press is it's a buffet. Okay, it's an all-you-can-eat buffet, right? So they give you all these resources, but you are not supposed to use all of them. Does that make sense? So, well, you could use all of them, but yeah, so that's how you need to think about it. It's a buffet. It's an all-you-can-eat buffet, but that doesn't mean you have to eat everything that they give you. Does that make sense? But it's there if you need it, right? And also it allows this curriculum to be used by all sorts of kinds of learners, which is a good thing. So, anyways, without further ado, let's just get into it. So I'm going to flip the camera around and I'll show you how I have it set up, and like I said, what's worked and what hasn't as far as organization. So, okay, see you in a minute. Okay, so this is raw and this is real. I have garbage. This is my Thrive from this morning. So I have garbage. And here is Shelby's basket. I'm going to move this. So this is Shelby's basket. You can see she has elements of literature, but this is how you start the year. You start the year in this book, which is grammar and writing and grammar. And then the second half of the year, you move to this elements of literature. So this just goes over, the basics of writing and grammar. And then this is actual, you have to read and then evaluate what you read. She does physical science, so there's a lab manual here, and then this is the reading text. So as I bring this up, this is one thing that I regret one of my decisions when we bought this curriculum. I was trying to save money and not buy the science kit, because you can buy a kit to go with each one of the science courses, and I didn't buy it, and I totally regret it. So they do most of the labs, you know, in the video, but it's, yeah, some of the lab reports they've just really struggled with because they were only watching it, not physically doing it. So, you know, sorry, got a phone call. So the lab kits are an extra, like $200 to $300 depending on what course you're getting. But now that I know what I know, I should have just done it. So anyways, and then she does world history, and she is absolutely loving world history, loving it. Like, she can't get enough of it. And then she has Algebra 1, and then she has Family Life Skills in Spanish 1. But we haven't really been doing these just because Shelby likes to take her time on school and everything she does. She's my artist. And so it takes her probably about 4.5 hours every day to do her school, which, you know, and by that time she's exhausted. Okay. And so, you know, we're just kind of like, you know what, let's take care of, you know, your math, your language arts, your history, and your science, and, you know, the rest of it is fine. As far as family life skills, she babysits. Plus she helps me out a ton in the house. So, you know, this is a great resource for her to keep as she goes through life, right? Spanish 1, I mean, they just lost interest in it, and it just became a struggle. So, I mean, they just don't have the gift of language. Next year, they just released the American Sign Language, and all of my kids really want to learn that. So we are going to do that, but we're going to do it as a family, because I would like to learn too. But yeah, so we are going to do that, and we are going to do it as a family. And then Spanish 1, we might come back to it someday, but you know, maybe if we can get a good enough routine, we'll just do Spanish 1 as a family, if that makes sense. But this is Shelby's coursework for a day. And then right here, I have Taylor's. She does school on a desk over there, but this is my desk, but Shelby does her school here. So that basket stays. But I just brought Taylor's basket over here. So you'll see she has the writing and grammar, and then the fundamentals of literature. So Shelby's was called the element of literature. Hers is called the fundamentals of literature. You can see her American Republic. This is the reading text. This is the student activities. And then she's doing earth science. And then here's her earth science lab manual. Like I said, I do regret not buying the kit. She started out with Bible truths, but and then performing literature. So this, you know, was just more for her to have, because one of her big hobbies is acting. You know, she loves community theater. And then of course she did Spanish 1 too. But when we kind of gave up with Shelby, I just told Taylor that she could give up too. Okay, so the American Republic, she really likes this, and she loves pre-algebra. Same with Shelby. Shelby loves the Algebra 1, and it's the same teacher that teaches Algebra 1 and pre-algebra. I can't remember his name. So with BJU, you can either buy the teacher's manual and you can teach it yourself as the parent, or you can rent DVDs. So like if you don't want your kids on the internet, You can rent DVDs, or if you don't have reliable internet at your house, you could just rent the DVDs. But we do the distant learning option, so it's streamed through our devices. Charlie does hers on an iPad. You can see it right there charging with the headphones. So that's what Charlie does her school in. And then underneath that is an old HP Windows laptop. That's what Shelby uses, and there's her headphones. And then Taylor uses an old Chromebook. I mean, like, it's old. Like, half the keys on the keyboard are missing. So, like, when she, sometimes she needs to type stuff in for her assignments, so we have to plug in an external keyboard. I mean, that's how old it is. So we have an old HP Windows laptop. This is a 2020 iPad. I bought it in 2020, brand new. I want to say it's the Pro, the 11-inch Pro. I just added it to my phone. But I want to say I bought this laptop in either 2018 or 2019, something like that. So it's not old. The Chromebook, I want to say I probably bought it in 2016 or 2017, probably 2017. So anyway, that's how they get their lessons. Yeah, but so there's Taylor's curriculum. And then here is Charlie's. So this is first grade. And this is going to lead into one of the other things that I am totally going to do different next year. So this has all of her handouts. So they send you these, okay? And so, like, this is the Bible class. She loves this class, by the way. Absolutely loves it. So it starts out with these video guides. Let me turn it around so you can see. All of this is on the hub where they will actually stream their lessons. So we don't use these. I have no need for these. But like if you're doing the DVD option or you're doing the teacher-led option, which by the way, if you do the DVD option or the distant learning where you stream it through your device, you can download the teacher's manual. So if you need to help them, and then all of your handouts. Well, I shouldn't say all of them. There's still a lot that, well, not a lot, but there's still some that I need to print off. And if you do the parent-led, which, you buy the teacher's manual, it gives you a PDF for you to print off or a CD-ROM where you can print off all the handouts that you need. But this is the handouts that were shipped to me. Does that make sense? Well, and there's more too on the other side. So all of her classes have the same thing. There's handouts, there's the video guides, all that stuff, right? But what I do, because it's a pain in the butt to drag these big, heavy, binders out, what I do is I just print off the handouts. Because I don't want to dig through this to get the handouts. So what I'm going to do next year is I'm going to buy a filing cabinet, a 3-drawer filing cabinet, because I have 3 kids. And then just because there's 180 lessons. There's 180 lessons in every course. So I would just need 180 file folders, right? And then just separate the, for each kid. I would need 180 file folders for each kid. And then just separate the handouts by day because they don't have it listed as lesson 1, it's day 1. Does that make sense? So I would just have it listed out, or I'd have, you know, a file folder for each day. And that way, you know, because like with Shelby's job, some days, you know, she can only get 1 lesson done. And, you know, she's just exhausted by the time she gets home from babysitting kids sometimes, you know. And so you have to move the other classes to the next day. So like, say she comes home from babysitting, she just has enough energy to get through algebra. And then she just goes and takes a nap, which is understandable. Anyways, so then I would just have to move her other classes to the next day. So, you know, your option is you have to dig through this to find the right day. Well, you have to pull this big hunkin' chunkin' thing out and find the right day of, you know, anyway. So I think that's what we're going to do next year, is just get a file folder, have 180 folders in it, you know, and have all the handouts separated. So you're going to have, like, day 1 will have handouts from algebra and world history, and, you know, but they'll all be right there. So that's what I think I'm going to do next year. So her manuals are quite a bit smaller because it's just first grade. So this is her heritage studies. She's really liking this. It doesn't talk about, see, look how cute. I want to remember this. Anyway, that's her doing writing lessons. So cute. It's not history. It's more of like culture and, you know, stuff like that. So, and learning morals and values. They learn so many different morals and values, and, you know, learning how to prioritize things, you know. Anyways, awesome curriculum. This is her reader. I want to say there's 6 of them total for the year. And her language arts teacher is Mrs. Walker, and she is absolutely amazing. So language arts, usually the video itself is over an hour, usually. And she stays completely enthralled the whole time. This is her hardest subject. Math is pretty simple to her, but the language arts has always been her biggest struggle, and which she gets that from her dad. Anything language arts has always been his struggle, whereas he's really good in math. But so language arts is her biggest struggle, but she absolutely loves Mrs. Walker. And so one of the things too I will bring up, since I'm talking about Mrs. Walker, is most of the teachers, like, so I want to say this curriculum was developed, like this particular edition was developed in 2004 or so. So, I mean, it's almost 20 years old, right? You can still email Mrs. Walker, but also she's very active on Facebook on the BJU Press Facebook page. There's been several times where we have sent her messages or posted something on the Facebook page that Charlie wanted me to share with her, and she's always very active with that and has responded really quickly, and it's just awesome. We love Mrs. Walker. Love Mrs. Walker. So here's her Bible curriculum. So basically you just pull this out when you're ready to use it. Does that make sense? So let's see. Oh, see, this one has it Unit 6, Part 1, Lesson 3. Most of them, it's by day. But anyway, so This doesn't have like a reading manual. It just has the activity manual for that. And then this is her math. She loves, so this is Digit and this is Celia. And she loves, loves, loves Digit and Celia. So this is the same thing. There's no reading text. You just pull these out when you're ready. And then for language arts, I told you it's over an hour long. These are all the activity, whoops, not that one. There's 4 of them. These are all the activity manuals for that you need for language arts. So you have the work text, the phonics practice. This is handwriting, and then reading. Okay, so they're all on the same video. And basically, you know, same deal. You just pull these out. So for Charlie, like I said, this is her biggest struggle, and I want her to have a good experience. So I pull out all 4 assignments. Okay, so you have your reading assignment, your handwriting, and then your 2 phonics assignments. I pull out all 4 of them every day, but she has to do handwriting every day because this right here, writing, is her biggest hurdle. Okay, it is her biggest hurdle. Not so much the phonics and reading. She does really, you know, she does fairly well with that. So I do make her do this every day. But it can be a struggle sometimes. And it's like, it's so easy and it doesn't take her very long. But oh man, she struggles. But I take 3 of, you know, all 3 of the assignments for the day out of these 3 books. But I let her only, I just tell her, look, you have to pick one. You have to do at least one. If she wants to do more than that, I let her do more than that. But that is 4 assignments after watching over an hour-long video, which she, like I said, she is completely immersed in the hour-long video. She loves Mrs. Walker so much. Yeah, so after, and then on top of that, you have composition. Every day they're supposed to write composition, but like I said, the handwriting is such a huge struggle for her. So instead of doing the composition every day, I make her write letters to people. She writes to her grandma and grandpa. She writes to her big sister that lives, you know, a couple hours away from us. And she writes to her Aunt Peggy, who's only 20 minutes away from us. And we mail it. And she loves that. It is still a struggle for her, but oh, she loves it. And then when they respond back, oh my gosh, it is like the best day ever. So instead of doing that, that's what we do. Like I said, this is an all-you-can-eat buffet, this curriculum. Doesn't mean you have to eat everything that's offered. So this is the activity manuals for the Heritage Studies. This is the activity manual for her science class. Oh yeah, like I said, Bible verses in your science class. It does teach creation in 6 days, which I love. I love that because nothing in the Bible, you know, leads me to believe that it's, you know, the earth is millions of years old or that God used millions of years to create the earth. And there's nothing, no evidence in science that it took millions of years. But that's another video for another day. If you really want to dive into it, Answers from Genesis, I want to say is what it's called, on YouTube is a great resource to learn more about that. So this is the reading text, and the teacher reads it right along with her. And then your assignments, the teacher will go, you know, through the assignments step by step. So I really don't have to help with science or the heritage, this one. I don't really have to help. The teacher does everything with them. The phonics I have to help, and the math I have to help, and the Bible I have to help. which, you know, really isn't that bad. But I will tell you the trick that we learned is she watches, and this is something Taylor came up with actually. She'll watch the video all the way through, and then she'll do the assignment. You know, any reading assignments or, you know, actual assignments. And it just, you know, and then you watch the next video all the way through. Because like with, you know, the language arts. Oh, it's over here. With the language arts, right? She's like, okay, so she does her little introduction and stuff like that, and then she'll introduce the composition subject, and then she'll, you know, do another introduction and come into this work text, and then this work text, and then she'll go over the handwriting, and you're supposed to, you know, after she explains what you're supposed to do, gives you the instructions, you're supposed to stop the video and do your handwriting. Does that make sense? But it just, when we were doing it that way, it was taking all day, like 4 hours. Mostly because, you know, honestly, Charlie has ADHD. And I know because I have it. She just really struggles on focusing. So I do find that if I give her something else to do, then it's easier for her to focus. But, you know, like the fidgets type thing, but I don't let her have fidgets. It's kind of hard to explain, but like, I don't know. I know for me, hi, Tyke. What you doing, grumpy cat? I know for me, if I have a task that needs to be done, I have to have, well, like when I'm studying the scriptures, it helps me to actually have something playing over headphones. It helps me to focus, and it's such a weird concept, but it works. So the same thing goes for Charlie. But anyway, yeah, so that is the curriculum that each of my kids are using this year. So I do want to put my camera on a tripod, and I will show you what I do to get ready for the day. So anyways, I'm going to pause it real quick while I get it on the tripod, and so you don't have to be wiggled around. Anyways, we'll see you in a minute. Okay, so hopefully this will work. So this is my homeschooling planner. Because of BJU, I don't have to plan out lessons, but I do like to keep track of what lesson they're on. This planner is from Plum Paper. You can customize pretty much every aspect of this planner. As you can see, I put my last name right here. So this is their homeschool plan, one of their homeschool planners. I think they have 3 different layouts for the homeschool planners, but this is just one of them. So I have it separated as, this is Shelby's stuff, this is Taylor's, this is Charlie's, and here's the weekend. This is their chore list. This is just things that, you know, need to get done today. And also this is where I tracked attendance and whether or not I graded their papers. And this is our basket time. And then this is anything that, you know, like event wise, like dentist appointments or something that might affect our homeschool day. Here I use this as just kind of like a quick overview of different events that are coming up this week. And then these are events for next week. And then this is just kind of like a to-do list. So you can find this at Plum Paper. The nice thing is you can start your Plum Paper planner anytime. So I had this one start in April. And then you can have it go up to 18 months. But I think I did 14 months. So it ends in May of 2024. I want to say, is it 20? Yeah, it's May of 2024. So instead, like if I would have gotten a 12-month planner, it would have ended in March. Does that make sense? But I wanted it to start now and end about the time that we're going to be ending next school year. So anyway, and it is disbound, so I can go ahead and I can order June of 2024, you know, like a 12-month planner. I can order June of 2024 and just add it into this if I wanted to. So today is Wednesday the 5th. Oh, so this is a clear plastic cover. It was supposed to go on the front right here. So here's the one that's on the back. And it just is supposed to protect the covers. But this cover right here is really, really sturdy and doesn't scratch very much, whereas these plastic covers scratch, if you can see. And then, so it makes your cover look dull. But what I do, because this is a disbound, is I use it as my bookmark, right? So I have a bookmark, but I can still see the whole week. But like I just showed you, I'll move this over to the side that we don't need, flip it over, and I have a smooth surface to protect the bottom. So I can have this on my desk or whatever, and I don't have to worry about, oh, did I accidentally set it in some water? So that's the one of the perks of having a disbound planner. The pen I'm using is a Frixon erasable pen. So that's kind of nice. So let's see. Oh, my face is too far away to unlock it. So BJU doesn't have they don't have an app as far as I know. This is just the website. I just added the website to my homepage. And then on the laptops, I just bookmarked it, right? So there's a login for me, and I'm the parent, right? So I have access to everything. And then each one of the kids has their own account with their own login, but it's all connected to my parent account. Gotta unlock it with my face, but I'm not in the right angle. Okay, so here's Shelby's. If I click here, it's going to show, there's Charlie's. So that's my first grader. And then there's Taylor's. So Taylor is in the shower right now. So I know as soon as she's done with her shower, she's going to be ready for school. So I need to get it going. I'm usually done by now, but I got in my scripture study this morning and had so much fun. It took me 2 hours. I totally lost track of time and just was enjoying myself so much that, yeah, it took 2 hours. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I don't know if you can see it. Okay, so right here I have several different menu options. Right now it's in this one. So this is your dashboard right here. So yeah, this can give me a pretty detailed outlook of the day. So like here is upcoming assignments. Here is where you will see the resources that you need. And then these are any assignments that she completed just today, but you know, they haven't started school. And then this is just a, yeah. So anyways, this is your dashboard, but what I like to go to is actually this one right here, the calendar. I love, love, love the calendar feature. So here is yesterday, right? So I can see she did pre-algebra, English 9, American Republic, and science, but you know, like I said, she didn't do the Spanish. So what I'm going to do is I highlighted it, And then I'm going to hit reschedule. And I hit the calendar. I move it to today. And then you have to click move all lessons. And then you hit save. And after my iPad decides to think for a minute, oh yeah, see, it moved it today, but it also shifted all of the assignments, right? Or all the lessons. And then, so the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to lesson, and hopefully you can see this. Okay. So right here, see it says watch. Right here, I can see she watched 29 minutes and 2 seconds of a 29.18 long video. Can you see that? So if she fast forwards, sorry, I bumped the thing. If she fast forwards through any of the video, it doesn't count it. So it will show it right here as not being watched. Don't ask me how I know. Well, one day, I think I know she watched the video, right? Because I saw her do it, but I didn't realize she had it on fast forward. And then I, went to check her assignments and what she completed, and it was saying that the video had not been watched. And I was like, what? So the next day I watched her and she was fast forwarding, just because she's the type of person, she just wants to get in, get it done, and be done. And so she had done the assignment, but she, thought that if she fast forwarded through the video, it would show up here that it was watched, but it does not count any time that is fast forwarded. So that's a perk of using the streaming service over the DVD. Excuse me, because you have no way of knowing if they actually watched the DVD or if they fast forwarded it or just skipped it altogether. So anyway, so this is the first thing I do is I go to my calendar and I click on each lesson, and you want to go to lesson. I'm going to check and make sure. So right here, here's her video. So she had assignments before the video. So she watched 11.37. Can you see it? Or is it focused on my hand? So she watched 11.37 of a 16.40 long video. And here she watched 9.27 out of 13.54. Does that make sense? So it tells on your kids. Okay. But, she watched the majority of the video, so I'm going to give it to her. So here it says, take the American Republic Chapter 18 test. This is what it looks like on my end, but if you can see it. But on her end, she took the test through the system. Does that make sense? So I can, in the settings, when I set them up, I can set it up where I administer the test, or you can set it up so the system administers the test. And then it wanted her to read student text 376 and 79. And then it grades the test, and you'll see that here in a minute. And then science, oh, excuse me. Okay, so she watched 12 minutes of an 18-minute video. And then, so it says, study for and take the Earth Science Chapter 17 quiz. So on her end, it had a tab where she actually took the test. But in my end, it doesn't say that. It just tells me that she took a test. So then the next thing I would do, I already did. So that's the first step, is I go through, make sure, click on each one of the assignments. So like if this was today, I would, even if it wasn't checked off, I would click on it, because sometimes like they thought they clicked on all of them, but one of them didn't click, you know, as they were checking off the checklist. One of them didn't check off. So I always do that, is I go through each one, even if it says it wasn't done, I still click on it, go to lesson, make sure. You know, because if they watch the video, it will tell me. And chances are if they watch the video, they probably did the assignment too. And it won't show up in my grade book. Whoops. It won't show up in my grade book until, so this is your grade book, okay? So this is where you go. You're going to click this one right here and it'll have numbers by it in a green oval if there's anything to grade. Some things it just wants you to check off that it was done. You know, and here's her test. So it tells me she got 11 out of 50. And to grade that, I'm just going to hit grade. And then you could go through and you can grant a retake. You can print it off so that you can use it as a teaching moment for them, because it says student answer and then correct answer, right? But I usually just submit the grade, you know? So, and then there is things like this one that I'm supposed to grade. So like this one right here. So it wants me to grade that. In order to grade that, I just hit key right here. And it, yeah, so here is everything that I need to grade that assignment, okay? And then to go back, you just hit done. Let's see. So like pre-algebra, this is a good one to show. So everything that I need is right here. All the answers are right here. And it shows how it was broke down and how, you know, they got the answer they got, you know, and how my student is supposed to get it. So this is a great resource as a parent, is those. Yeah. So basically I would go through these. I would just make sure that they were done. If they're done, I just hit, you just touch the done. See how it checked it off right there? So it like, so there it's not done. There it's done. And then you just hit save. Okay. So that's fairly easy. And then the next thing I would do is I come back over here to calendar. And I know yesterday she did pre-algebra, English 9, American Republican Science. So I'm going to go to today's pre-algebra because I know if there's any prep work for today, it needs to be done because she did pre-algebra yesterday. If there's anything that needs to be printed off, it's going to be right here. It'll show up in blue, okay? So like this one isn't a very good example, but let's see, English 9, go to lesson. Oh, neat. So she has a test today. Can you see that? And see, and I can print the test and administer it, you know, so if I change my mind after setting the settings. Come on. This is just my internet, not the system. Let's see if American Republic has... Okay, so here is the Chapter 19 guided notes. I allow my kids to use their guided notes during the test. So if they fail to get this done, it's on them. So this is in the handouts that were sent with the curriculum. So this is already printed out, but I really don't want to dig it out. So we are going to print it. Okay, so basically it just has a bunch of questions, you know, fill in the blanks, stuff like that, and just important information. So they'll fill this out as they go along, if that makes sense. Oh, my printer. So I just have my printer is just one of the cheap ones from Walmart. It's one of those ones where the ink is more expensive than what I actually paid for the printer. But in desperation one time, I just went on Amazon and got ink from Easy Ink off of Amazon, and it's like not like a third of the cost of what I would have to buy ink at Walmart. So it's been a really good printer. Okay, and then so we come over here to science. So this, it says chapter 17 guided notes answer key. So I know this is the last day that she has on chapter 17. And I added finished guided notes, and this will show up on her end. And that tells her that this is the last day with the guided notes. And so tomorrow I will print off the chapter 18 guided notes. But yeah, so here's a practice test that she'll take, and it will show up over here when she's done with it. But yeah, so basically I will staple this and put it with her papers. And then the next thing I'll do, so the first thing I do is go to calendar, click on each one of the lessons, make sure that they did it, or if they didn't do it, you know, whatever. And then I would move the lessons to the next day that weren't completed. I would move it to the next day. And then the next thing I do is I click on the ones that she did yesterday. So if she did pre-algebra yesterday, I know I need to click on pre-algebra today and make sure that there's nothing that needs to be prepped for it. Like if she didn't do American Republic, I know that I had prepped yesterday, so I know I don't have to do any prep for that. And then, so the last thing I do is I grade the papers, grade the assignments, and submit the test scores. So it's really simple. If I was to do all of this, it takes me about 20 minutes to grade everybody's assignments and to prep everything for all three of my kids. So literally it takes about 20 minutes to get it done. Not hard at all. But this calendar feature is huge because, like, come on. If I ever needed to submit a attendance record, or do a report, a weekly report of what was done, look, see, it shows her attendance right here. Every time it's crossed off, there's her attendance, okay? Does that make sense? And I can go back to March, and you can see what days we did school and what days we didn't. So this is kind of the nice thing. We do kind of homeschool all year long. Basically, my rule is they have to be on lesson 120 by the 1st of August. That's my rule. But like there was the first year where we switched Shelby's curriculum in the middle of the year. And so, of course, she didn't get to 120. But you know what? We stopped right there on the 1st of August and just moved her on to the next year's curriculum. Because usually with, when, you know, like when you start a new curriculum, the first like few months is just a review of everything you learned last year. So I'm okay if they don't finish the curriculum, because the first few months of the next year's curriculum is going to be just a review. But the reason that I don't have an end date besides August 1st, the reason I don't have an end date and then have like a summer break is because we do take days like this. Like, I want to say, oh, so Taylor had her big, what's the word? Oh, she was in Beauty and the Beast in the community theater. So this was a big day for rehearsals, and this was opening day. This was the second day, and she was exhausted, and because we don't get home until really late after a performance. So I was like, you know what? Don't worry about school today. So doing it all year long allows us to just have the flexibility to do that. But as you can see, most of her courses are really close to 120, and that's my absolute, has to be completed by the 1st of August. And we're only the 5th of April, and we're pretty much there. So anyway, this is BJU. This is what we do. I've really enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please let me know down below. Oh, I did want to mention, do I have it on here? Okay, so right here, if you can see, oops, not you. That's good notes. So right here, if you can see, it says after school help. If I click on this, it gives me a resource where in every lesson of the BJU courses, so all the grades, every lesson, there's an in-depth video where the teacher goes a little bit further into depth, explains it a little bit more in simpler terms. So this is another resource if you have a child that's struggling. So I haven't had to use it, but so here you click subjects, language arts, math, science, Spanish. But anyways, it would just go more into depth of, of different curriculums or different, anyways. But it's through BJU Press, so they only do the BJU Press, but it will go more into depth into each lesson of every subject of every grade. So like I said, if your child is still struggling after the all-you-can-eat buffet, there is that. Also, you can email the teacher or the school directly. I don't think any of the teachers have retired since they started videoing, selling the video courses. I think all of them are still current teachers, so you can email the teacher directly. Worst case scenario, you email the school and they get back to you really, really quickly. Also, they have consultants. Just about every state has a consultant, and you can contact the consultant for help. And then they have a community on Facebook where you can ask the community for help. Let's see. So that I need to grade, so I need to put that to the side. This she doesn't need anymore. And okay, so she'll need that. And then she didn't need algebra or pre-algebra or the English. I'm just thinking out loud here. So, there's the Facebook community, and all of the teachers and the consultants are active on that Facebook group. So if you have questions, and you didn't email or whatever, you can always go to that community, and somebody will help you with whatever it is. It also, like I said, is a great place to share, art assignments that your kids did that they were proud of, or science experiments that your kids did that they were proud of. It's a really great community. But anyways, this is what we're doing for homeschool for this year. We've really liked it. I do need to go through and get Shelby's school prepped and Charlie's school prepped. I might keep the video rolling. Well, I'll probably close this one up and then just start another video and just keep it rolling. See how far we go. But I do still need to go out and feed horses and get everybody up and going. But anyway, so this is BJU Press. I highly suggest it. We've really enjoyed it. It's a very, very challenging curriculum, but like I said, you're given every resource to succeed. So in this planner, because I'm ADDing out here. In this planner, because I don't need to actually plan out lessons, I just write what lesson they're on. Like, so this is Shelby's math, you know, so I'll write down what lesson she's actually doing. And then as I'm grading, I'm checking off which ones they actually did. So Charlie's is easy because I do them with her, so I know which ones she did. But anyways, so that's how I use this planner. It just kind of helps me see without logging into anything how we're progressing, if that makes sense. So anyway, that's where we're at. Thanks for putting up with me. If, like I said, if you have any questions, please comment down below. And I would hope you would subscribe, because I feel like I have a lot of value to provide the world. I did get some more stickers in from Black Mountain Plans, and I got 2 new planners from Plum Paper. This is one of them. Obviously, because it started April 1st, that I can do a flip through of and show you how I'm using them. But yeah, I got a new set of stickers in from Black Mountain Plans on Etsy. I gotta show you. So look how cute that is. So this is her Winter in Scotland. She doesn't make a kit for this planner. These were just leftovers from my work planner and my hourly daily planner. So I just threw on a few extras. And then this one is called Rustic Sunflower. So I was playing around with them, trying to see if I could make them last a little bit longer. So here is the same weeks in my vertical priorities that I use as a work planner. So here's the Winter in Scotland, and here is the Rustic Sunflower. So I was playing around with it because I did add, and then this is the other planner I added real quick. This is just a tabbed monthly, but I'm using it as a faith planner, but also it's my on-the-go planner. And then this is my hourly daily planner. Let's see. You could get, oh, there's your Rustic Sunflowers. So I've got tons of videos of me decorating this. It hasn't really changed much. I did change up my weekly overview a little bit. But other than that, nothing else has really changed. So anyways, we have a lot going on today. We have an Easter egg hunt. And we are going to go egg some friend's house. So I really need to get going, get my horses fed before they break through the fence. But I did want to show that to you. So anyways, me and my ADHD tangents, but thanks for joining me. Thanks for putting up with me, and we will talk to you later. Bye. I couldn't sit down while I was filming my video because the world's cutest little kitty was in my spot, and she was so cute. We couldn't disturb her. This is Henry, by the way, and Henry is a girl. Obviously. Huh. I know, baby. She just got fixed. You see? Poor kitty. Huh? Poor kitty. Yeah, she's a sweet girl. She's doing her part to get ready for the homeschool day, huh? Aren't you? She's a sweet girl. So, and there's Tig. He's grumpy. And that's my red healer. Her name is Naughty. She's 11. 11. Yeah. Her name is actually Austin Ann. But she's a healer. She's my shadow. She's my ride or die. I love that dog. Anyways, thought I'd share. It's so cute. Bye.
Ugh.